The final shape is here, and you are ready to decimate the Witness's forces and complete the campaign. But there is so much that's changed, so you have no idea where to start. Keep on watching and I'll give you some super simple builds that have been carrying me through the campaign so far. The best part is that they require no artifact mods and use only the starting Prismatic and Stasis kits. The main keys to these builds is Karnstein's Gauntlets. I've made a video about this in the past, and I've brought this into the final shape because it has been the best survival exotic for warlocks, especially solo warlocks. For weapons, I've used glaives like Winterbite because its melee is really strong and the stasis base shatter damage was just doubled in the final shape. It's super easy to fire the projectile, freeze a group, and start wrecking while you get Cure and Resto from Karnstein. You always want to use a finisher if you can to get Resto ×2 from Karnstein, which will keep refreshing as long as you keep getting melee kills of any kind. Something really nice about glaives is that the melee damage counts as kinetic and therefore fills both your light and dark bars, so you really don't have to think about managing them at all. Unfortunately, the melee does not generate orbs while using a kinetic siphon. It is a bit overkill considering that warlocks start with Feed the Void and get Devour on ability kills for their prismatic starting kit. However, the enemies seem to rush you a lot, and it's been way more consistent for me to swap to a glaive and quickly kill them and start the Resto chain than rely on Devour solely. You might not want to tie up your exotic, so any legendary glaive also works nicely. I've found that machine guns have been good heavies for tormentors if you're not tied up with Winterbite. I've also enjoyed using Osteostriga. Even though its ad clear was nerfed, it still works really nicely with Devour, and its single target damage is really high. You can also get Anti-Barrier SMG and have it be overcharged when that modifier is active with the first artifact mod you unlock. I literally changed nothing for the Prismatic kit and it worked really nice. Focusing on mods that generate orbs like Siphon mods, Firepower, Heavy-Handed, and Reaper are really nice so you can generate Frost Armor and up your survival even more, thanks to the starting Prismatic Fragment Facet of Purpose. This gives you Frost Armor when you pick up an Orb of Power with a Stasis super equipped. I made an even stronger build that uses the Stasis subclass, and you can very easily switch between Stasis and Prismatic when you need to. In fact, I recommend that you do until you have more of the Prismatic kit unlocked, personally at least. Just save both of these builds to your in-game loadouts. I hope to have the dim links added to these videos when it is up. The Stasis build takes extra advantage of Frost Armor's damage resistance on top of Karnstein's Cure and Resto effects. It's way easier to get to max Frost Armor stacks, and the maximum damage resistance increases from 22.5% to 36% thanks to Whisper of Rime. I used Glacier Grenade to generate as many stasis crystals as possible while freezing targets. Then Ice Flare bolts locked down the room while I finished targets off. Ice Flare bolts just got a buff to generate 7 freezing seekers instead of 5. I also use Glacial Harvest as you can't get Frost Armor from Stasis Shards in the Stasis subclass without it. It is supposed to give you some healing when you pick up Stasis Shards, but I read in the update notes that it is not working currently. I am using Whisper of Fissures to increase the size and damage of Stasis Crystal Shatter. Whisper of Chains gives you a chance to create a Stasis Shard and therefore increase and refresh your Frost Armor stacks when you defeat a target when you already have Frost Armor. Finally, Whisper of Fractures gives you a stack of Frost Armor when defeating a frozen target with a melee, which we're doing constantly thanks to Winterbite. I won't say that either the Prismatic version or the Stasis version are meta, but both are the starting kit and they're very easy to use and extremely simple. They both get better as we unlock new stasis fragments and the additional prismatic kit and artifact mods. If you prefer to switch between solar and prismatic, I have a link to my solar Karnstein build up on screen now. Depending on how this video does, I'll create more in-depth versions of these builds. Please let me know what you'd like to see in the comments and subscribe to make sure you get notified. Thank you so much.